Heroes Write and Conquer. This is a giant roll and write game where instead of just getting a small sheet, you are getting a large sheet here. You're the elves. You're fighting in a battle in a land war. Here's how it plays. In this game, everyone gets a quick reference sheet and then a faction. So you have the orcs, the gnomes, the nagas, the humans, boring, the undead, or the elves. Now, when you pick each of these factions, they are different, and some even have some more weird oddities to them. But you're going to start with some units. So, for example, here it shows a 2. I start with 2 scouts, which I'll write down. You're also going to possibly cross some areas off on the board you can't go to if you're playing with less than 4 players. And you also have a starting position. And so once you're in your position, you're always going to get whenever you go to a new spot, you get the resources on that spot. So now I have 2 wood. If you get a whole lot of a resource, that will give you points. Once I get 30 wood, I can circle that and get 3 points at the end of the game. But on your turn, this is how we keep track of the turns of the game. One person is going to decide the actions for that turn. I might say we're going to do this first, this second, this third, and this fourth. And everyone will copy me. And then when someone else's turn to go first, they pick the numbers. 3 of these are resources: wood, stone, and money. Those resources you simply get here equal to the number that's done. These are done in order 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we would all get 1 iron. Then 2 movement, then 3 build, then 4 money. The move lets you move on the board. You can go to different spaces, moving through portals. When you get to the end, you get the resources. And if you move to a spot with someone else, you might have to fight them. Or you can also decide to fight these monsters that are down here, which need a certain amount of power to get them. By building, you can build more buildings. There's prerequisites. I can build the Idol of War, then the Dump, then the House Chief. And these will give you special abilities. They have costs that they cost to build them. Some of them, once you build them, you can then recruit, paying this amount here. So if I build 3 chargers for 9 gold, I now have 15 attack, although bombers are better. And if they're attacking a fortress, it's 12. There's fortresses here that when you beat them, you get points in the resources underneath. There's some more stuff. Some of the spots you go to, you'll find artifacts, which will give you bonuses, or you have the ability to build these artifacts. You can steal them from other players. And when the game is over, after a certain number of turns, you're going to get points for some of the buildings you built. You will get the points for collecting resources, points for beating monsters, points for conquering fortresses, and some points for artifacts. And whoever has the most points is the winner. Heroes has a lot of interesting concepts, and there's a lot of things about Heroes that I like. The main detractor for me for Heroes, though, what keeps me from giving it a 7, this is a 6 out of 10 for me. The main thing that keeps me from giving it a higher score, though, is the fact that I just cannot shake the feeling that this did not need to be a roll and write. There's a board if we both go to the same spot. Well, why would we not just have a central map? Where we're all moving our pieces along, where we all collect the resources, where we spend those resources. Yeah, you could still have part of it being roll and write, maybe cross off the buildings and not. But at the end of the day, there's just a lot of these little things. And that the concept of 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're picking 4 out of 5 actions is not as interesting as it sounds. There's 5 actions. You're picking 4. The order matters. But again, since it affects everybody, I'm like, ooh, what did you say? 2 for gold? I guess I'm getting 2 gold. Moving around the board and then fighting another player. This is one of those games where the winner of the battle is going to take, you're going to, basically when you fight someone else, you determine how many troops you're going to send and they will all die and the winner gets to kill a monster and the loser, they can steal something from the loser. But the winner gets a lot. The loser doesn't get nearly as much. And the person, if you're playing more than 2, who's not involved in the battle, sits back and goes, yeah. There's also special buildings. There's a lot of special. It feels like a lot in a little. Now, you're saying, Tom, you're giving us a lot of negativity. But I still do like a lot of parts of it. I like the different factions and how they feel different. I like the concept of, do I want to fight a monster? Or how do I want to move on this board? You can only go to each territory once. And so I'm thinking about, or at least you can only get the resources from it once. I'm thinking about the best way to move on the board, to how do I get points? There's a lot of cool concepts in here, but it just feels a bit like they shoehorned in the roll and write part of it, or the choose and write part of it, I guess. And that just kind of makes it forgettable to some degree. So it's intriguing, but one that I don't know that people are going to go back to, hence the 6 out of 10.